Thank you, Mr. President. As you just heard, this is a legislation requiring insurance coverage for autism spectrum disorders. And I want to begin by thanking the 12 co-sponsors who joined me in advancing and sponsoring this legislation today. Mr. President, as you walked on the floor, you noted that I have the large bucket of keys here on my desk as a promise I made 25 years ago. The key campaigners are in town. I hope everyone will come to the dinner tonight. Top priority for the group is passage. One of the top priorities of their legislative agenda is to pass this legislation today. And they're listed on the list of supporters that are here on your desk. The legislation would require insurance coverage of medically necessary evidence-based treatments of autism spectrum disorders as prescribed by a licensed physician or psychologist. So this is medical coverage for recognized treatments, evidence-based treatments. These medically necessary treatments include speech and language therapies, occupational and physical therapies, and behavioral interventions recognized by the U.S. Surgeon General, the National Institute of Child Health, and American Academy of Pediatrics as effective forms of treatment. So this is not some speculative endeavor. This is all proven items. Autism is treatable. Some people don't know that, but it's absolutely true. 40 years of research shows that nearly half of those receiving medically necessary early intervention and treatment in the first years of life do not require lifelong services and support, which are immensely expensive to the public sector and to the private individuals affected. And half of those individuals achieve normal functioning after 2 to 3 years, so there is hope for these families. And there can be more hope with passage of this legislation. According to the Governor's Council on Disabilities and Special Education, another strong supporter of this legislation, autism insurance coverage will save the state $208,500 per child, that's their best estimate, in avoided special education costs, and lifetime savings of just over $1 million per child. Without treatment, it's estimated that lifetime cost to the state of Alaska for each child will exceed $3.2 million per person. So treatment at the early stages of development is extremely cost effective. This legislation will only increase premiums slightly. And once you hear the numbers, I think you will believe that it's worth it. Recently released claims data from the first 2 years of implementation in 5 states demonstrates that premiums were significantly lower than predicted. That's good news. The average first-year cost of coverage is 15 cents per member per month. The average second-year cost of coverage is 31 cents per member per month. And in case you think Alaska is breaking trail in this regard, Mr. President, we are not. In fact, we're late to the party. We're in the back of the pack with 29 other states having adopted similar legislation, and the data show this is a cost-effective thing to do. That's why other states, so many other states, have done this before us. And this kind of coverage is nothing new in the state of Alaska or to this body. We have done it many times before, and I'm very proud of that because it occurred on a bipartisan basis, very strong votes, from well baby exams to diabetes, prostate, and breast cancer screenings. We've done that together in the past. And the Division of Retirement and Benefits consistently adopts state-required coverage as part of its standard health care plan for state employees, and many of the healthcare trusts offer comparable coverage to their members in order to stay competitive. It is a marketplace situation, Mr. President, as a previous speaker noted. Most importantly, this bill is about keeping families together. Families with autistic children need our help, and today won't be a day too soon. I'm sure you've heard from some of your constituents who are in this situation. I've heard from families forced to drain their savings accounts, cash out 401ks, take out equity lines of credit on their homes, spend their retirement savings down to nothing, max out credit cards, file for bankruptcy. All these are true stories, by the way. Or give up a child to a family member. Give up a child to someone with insurance that can cover these effective treatments. This bill will not only help children, I sincerely believe that it will save marriages, it will keep families together, and will save the state money. Children who receive these medical treatments have a shot at staying home with their families and out of costly institutions where they would be destined to a life of expensive care. Mr. President, we worked together to close Harborview, an institution, a well-intended institution in Valdez, but it came down to warehousing some of the least among us. We worked together to bring the children home, and today is the day for us to work together to keep the children home. for them to stay with their families who love them unconditionally. Mr. President, thank you to all the members, and I recommend obviously a yes vote. I think we can do something very good for these families together here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Ellis.